Hello you guys, and welcome to another episode of Our Irish Country Life. And you can see I'm not in the west coast of Ireland. I am here in the glorious sunny Cyprus. It is our summer holiday and we've come here for a very special occasion. We have a family wedding, a black tie wedding in the beautiful Paphos here in Cyprus. So that's happening next weekend, but we're not allowed to talk about it because the princess who's getting married, who happens to be our niece, is acting all drama. We're not allowed photographs. We're not allowed to release any gossip until she's okayed it. I don't know who she thinks she is, but then again, she is our niece, so maybe. Okay, today, for you guys, I am going to make for you a delicious, delicious Portokalopita, which Portokali in English means orange, and obita means cake, so a beautiful orange cake. I know I made you an orange cake before, but this ain't like any other orange cake. Even the Greeks don't know about this orange cake, and yet they're the ones where it originated from. So I'm going to show you, all my people, how to make this cake. It is super, super simple. The only difficult thing you might find with this cake is actually getting your hands on filo pastry. But I know in Ireland, in other countries, it's very readily available. In Ireland, we can buy it in the likes of Dunnes Stores, SuperValu, any of the Asian shops. It'll either be in the fridge or in the freezer. And so it's filo pastry. And what you need is 400 grams of filo pastry. And the first thing you need to do for this cake, so I'm going to go through each stage of this cake with you individually because it's a lot for you to take in, is we need to unroll the sheets, first of all, which have been stuck. Okay, and once we unroll the sheets and we get rid of this bit of plastic, we're going to roll it back up again into a sausage shape. Okay, we're going to remove our plastic. Okay, and then you're going to cut it into 1 centimeter slices, just like this. And the idea with this is we're going to pop this into an oven at 120 degrees fan for 30 minutes so that this filo pastry dries out and becomes lovely and crunchy, so it will absorb all that delicious, goody orange juice that's going into the cake. And the syrup. So this is a syrup-based cake. So once I've got this all done, I'll show you how to put it onto the tray, and then we'll pop that in the oven. And whilst that's in the oven drying out, we can be getting on with our syrup. Because I know you know from my other cakes that I've made before, with syrup, it's always a hot cake with a cold syrup, or it's a cold syrup with a hot cake. I'm not going to bore you with the science of it. I can't because I don't even know what the science is. But okay, trust me. Hot cake, cold syrup, cold cake, hot syrup. Okay, so now we've done that, all we're going to do is get our roasting tray or our baking tray, and we're literally going to, so what we have now, my friends, is we have what resembles tagliatelle. You hear me trying to speak with my Italian accent, but anyway. Okay, so we're going to spread this out evenly and get it to dry out nice and crispy. Okay, folks, so this is now going into the oven, 120 degrees fan for 30 minutes, and it will become nice and crunchy, and it will help for, so this cake is a flourless cake. The flour is actually the filo pastry. So that's going into the oven now. Okay, you guys, so now we're going to get on with making the syrup, because the syrup will need time to cool down while the cake is eventually baking in the oven. I forgot to mention to you, the reason why I'm making this cake today is because the family are coming from London for this wedding, and they're all arriving. In fact, they've all landed now. So we need to get this cake made, and we need to get it into the fridge so it can absorb all that lovely syrup. And they're all coming around here later for Greek coffee and a slice of Portokalopita. So, for our syrup, what we've done is we've peeled 2 oranges, and we've literally done it with a vegetable peeler so that the peel has come off like that, with not very much of the white pith. We don't want too much of that. So with a vegetable peeler, we've peeled the orange. And what I've done is I've stripped it and I've cut it into julienne slices. So nice and thin so that they cook quite quickly. And you can see, and this is going to go into the syrup, and this will be poured all over the top of the cake, and it will taste absolutely amazing. So for the syrup, 150 grams of just normal sugar, okay, into the pot. And then we need 350 mils of water, the juice squeezed of 2 oranges, and a little sprinkling of cinnamon powder, okay? And then we will put into that our orange peel. So that's going to soften as the syrup is boiling away. And we're going to give that a stir now, and then we're going to pop that onto the heat high heat, and we're going to let the sugar dissolve, and we're going to boil it for about 7 to 10 minutes. And the reason why I'm going to boil it for 7 to 10 minutes, although the recipe does state for 5 minutes, is because I haven't used the same quantity of sugar, because I feel it ends up being very, very sweet. So I've used slightly less sugar, which means it's going to take slightly longer to thicken. So that's ready now for to go on the stove and boil for 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so now for the cake. So what you need is you need a mixing bowl. You need your tray, which can be square, rectangular, it can be a Pyrex dish, it can be whatever you want it to be. If you think this recipe is for about 8 to 10 portions, it should give you an idea of what size to use. The bigger the tray you use, the thinner the cake, the smaller the tray, the deeper the cake. So, you'll need a spatula, and we need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees fan, and this will bake for 40 minutes in the oven. So now let's go through the ingredients. We need 4 medium eggs. We need some vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of baking powder with half a teaspoon of salt, 250 grams of your finest Greek yogurt. This absolutely tastes divine. I got it here in Cyprus. It's actually sheep's yogurt. Okay, and then you need the zest of 2 oranges and the juice of 2 oranges. 180 grams of sugar, which is going to go into the bowl. And we have 250 milliliters of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, whatever you prefer. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our eggs and our sugar together, and we're going to beat that for a few minutes. Now, a long time ago when I first started doing these YouTube channels, a lady commented that I should never crack my eggs directly into the bowl, because if you get a bad egg, and I've never had a bad egg, so I thought that won't be happening. Until recently, I was making something at home, and I'd put all my ingredients, and I think it was like a barn brack, a tea brack or something, and all the fruit had been soaked in tea, and everything had been done, and then I cracked an egg, and it was just full of blood. It was horrible. So it actually turned my stomach, so I had to throw the whole lot away. So, lesson learned, I will crack each egg individually into a bowl, and then we will put it into our ingredients. So once we know that the egg is okay, and there's nothing untoward, it can go in there like so. We'll do that with all 4 of them. Honestly, I didn't believe her either. She mentioned it, and then I thought, after that episode, I thought I'll never be doing that again. So now I always check my eggs. That one looks good. Okay, so we're going to whisk those all together, the eggs and the sugar, for a few minutes. It would help if Nicola turned it on. And we're going to get that to come up nice and frothy and a nice creamy colour. Okay, so that's had about 5 minutes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our baking powder and salt in there, straight in. Okay, and we're going to put our yogurt in, and we're going to mix this all together again. We're going to put our zest of our orange in and our oil in. Oh my God, if you could smell these oranges. I have never smelled oranges like them. We do not get this kind of orange in Ireland. They do not have the scent that these do have. It really smells like Christmas. Orange juice in. Vanilla in, and it's approximately 1 teaspoon. Okay, and our oil in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give that a mix. Okay, so that's all mixed now. We need to add our filo in. But first of all, I want to tell you, just with your tray, what I've done is I've brushed it with a little bit of vegetable oil, and then I've dusted it with a little bit of flour, just so it helps not to stick into the tray. Okay? Last, very simple, easy thing to do before we put this cake in the oven is to get our filo pastry, put it over our bowl, and crumple it into our mix. Okay, take a few handfuls at a time. Okay. And give it a stir. And you'll have to do this in batches because you won't have room in your bowl if you try to do it all together. So you can hear how crunchy it is, and you can still see the steam coming from it. This is really exciting. I hope you'll agree. I've never made a cake like this before. They assure me it is the best. Okay, So now you've incorporated it all quite well into the mix, and then all we have to do now is we have to pour this mixture into that lovely tray and get that into our oven, and it will bake for about 40 minutes. Once we take that out of the oven, we will prick it all over and make some holes to allow our beautiful syrup to penetrate in. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me that looks really weird as far as cakes go, but bear with me. Okay, and this mixture is just going to go in here. Make sure you get all that lovely goodness out of there. And that now is ready for the oven. And my God, it smells delicious of oranges. Okay, you guys, so cake is done. It's out of the oven, and I wish you could smell the smell of orange. It just is amazing. So the last and final steps is we're going to get something sharp and we're going to prick our cake all over. And then we're going to pour our syrup, and we're going to allow our syrup to penetrate into our cake for several hours before we slice it. And don't worry if it looks like it's a lot of syrup, because it will absorb in to the cake. And you've got those beautiful strands of orange as well, which will... Okay, so I'm just adjusting my strips of orange so that everywhere has a little strip of orange, so that everybody will get some orange. Now folks, that is it. The most simplest, I hope you'll agree, delicious Portokalopita orange Greek cake made with filo pastry. And come join us later where we're going to have some Greek coffee and a slice of this beauty. Amazing. So you guys, here we are, our lovely cup of Greek coffee and our lovely slice of Portokalopita. However, I need something much stronger than this coffee. I've just had a call from Ireland. Tracy, who's looking after Scooter, because Scooter is too fine a specimen to go to kennels, so he decided he wanted Tracy, previous workaway, to come and look after him and Peggy. He has called looking for the last 3 digits of the credit card so that he can book him and Peggy into the Gresham Hotel in Dublin for a weekend while we're away. Trying to reason with that boy is just impossible at the moment. He really is alone to himself. He's very lucky I'm here and I'm not anywhere near him just now. Anyway, he's missing out on this delicious cake, so come join us. And I have to say, it looks absolutely delightful. It smells amazing. It is mouth-wateringly beautiful. You really do need to try to make this cake. It's unlike anything you've ever tasted. Now, my friends, I have a wedding to attend, and we've been warned. We best not be late. So we'll see you soon.